Have you ever noticed how your mind can turn a simple decision into a mental battlefield? Have you ever replayed a conversation over and over, wondering if you said something wrong, even though the other person probably forgot about it 5 minutes later? Or do you ever catch yourself imagining every possible outcome until even the smallest task feels heavy? If any of that sounds familiar, then you've seen how overthinking works, either in yourself or in someone close to you. But here's the truth most people don't understand. Overthinkers aren't weak, they aren't slow, they aren't indecisive by nature. They are people who feel too deeply and think too widely. Their mind isn't broken, it's overloaded. And to fully understand them, you need to understand the psychology behind how they think. This is not a video blaming them, it's a video explaining them, so you can finally understand why they behave the way they do. Let's begin. First, overthinkers seek safety through certainty. Most people make decisions based on preference. Overthinkers make decisions based on danger. They don't ask, "What do I want?" They ask, "What could go wrong?" Their brain treats every choice like a potential threat. Even small decisions, replying to a message, choosing a plan, finishing a task, trigger a desire for absolute certainty. They want the perfect outcome, the perfect answer, the perfect timing, because to them, certainty feels like safety, and anything uncertain feels like chaos. So they delay, hesitate, and question themselves endlessly, not because they are slow, but because their mind is trying to protect them from imaginary danger. Second, their brain doesn't stop at one scenario, it creates 50. A normal person thinks, "I should text back." An overthinker thinks, "If I text back too fast, will I seem desperate? If I text back too slow, will they think I'm mad? If I say this, will they misunderstand? What if they don't reply? What does it mean if they reply too casually? Should I add an emoji? Is this emoji too much? Should I delete the message I sent?" Their mind runs simulations like a supercomputer. They analyze tone, timing, subtext, consequences, possibilities. It's exhausting, even for them. But this is how they function. Their brain doesn't turn off just because the situation is simple. To them, every detail carries meaning. Third, they have an intense fear of regret. Overthinkers don't fear failure the same way others do. They fear choosing wrong. They fear the idea that one small decision today could pain them 5 years from now. So they think in long-term loops. What if this job ruins my future? What if this relationship isn't right? What if this opportunity backfires? What if I waste my time? What if I disappoint people? This fear of regret forces them into endless analysis. They don't want to make a mistake they can't undo, so they cling to scenarios, constantly scanning for the right one, even when none of the choices are dangerous in the first place. Fourth, they are highly self-aware but painfully self-critical. Overthinkers notice everything about themselves: their tone, their facial expressions, their reactions, their habits. But this self-awareness comes with a cost: self-criticism. They don't just think about what happened, they judge themselves for it. Did I talk too much? Did I talk too little? Did I seem awkward? Did I sound rude? Do they think I'm annoying? Even when nothing is wrong, they assume something is. Overthinkers aren't arrogant. They're actually deeply afraid of being misunderstood or disliked. So their mind constantly reviews every action, as if they're grading themselves. Fifth, they carry emotional memory much stronger than others. Most people remember facts. Overthinkers remember feelings. If they embarrassed themselves once, their mind replays it for years. If someone criticized them once, their brain stores it like a permanent file. If they failed at something in the past, their mind uses it as evidence that failure is always possible in the future. This emotional memory creates a psychological pattern. I must think everything through, so I never get hurt like that again. So their overthinking isn't random, it's protective. Their mind is trying to avoid future emotional pain by obsessing over every possible risk. Sixth, they struggle because they think while feeling at the same time. Most people do one or the other. They either think logically or they feel emotionally. Overthinkers do both at once. Every thought triggers emotion, and every emotion triggers more thoughts. It becomes a feedback loop. Thought into feeling, into more thoughts, and into more feelings. So a simple worry becomes a storm. This is why overthinkers can't just relax. Their mind is too busy reacting to itself. Seventh, they assume responsibility for things that aren't their fault. If someone is upset, they ask themselves, did I cause it? If plans fall apart, is this my mistake? If someone is silent, are they angry at me? Overthinkers often take emotional responsibility for things they didn't control, didn't start, and didn't influence. This creates guilt, even when they've done nothing wrong. Their overthinking comes from a desire to avoid hurting anyone, but the cost is that they constantly hurt themselves. Eighth, they think deeply because they feel deeply. Overthinking is often a symptom of emotional sensitivity. Overthinkers don't just live life, they absorb it. They take things personally, not because they want to, but because they feel everything intensely. The mood of others affects them. The energy of a room affects them. The smallest changes affect them. They are not dramatic, they are perceptive, but their sensitivity makes daily life heavier, and the thoughts never stop coming. Ninth, their mind tries to predict pain before it happens. At its core, overthinking is a survival instinct. Their brain learns somewhere in life that being unprepared leads to pain. Maybe they grew up in unstable environments. Maybe they experienced sudden loss. Maybe they were judged harshly. Maybe they had to defend themselves emotionally from a young age. So now their mind plays defense. If I think long enough, maybe I can avoid being hurt again. Their overthinking is not a flaw. It is a defense mechanism, overprotective, but understandable. 10th, they are not indecisive. They are overwhelmed by possibilities. Most people choose quickly because they don't think about every angle. But overthinkers see everything. They see the benefits, the risks, the consequences, the emotional impact, the social implications, the but what if ... double quotes hidden behind every option. Their brain is like a browser with 50 tabs open. Every choice feels like a chain reaction, and that mental load makes it almost impossible to decide. Not because they are incapable, but because their mind is too powerful for its own peace. 11th, overthinkers judge themselves by standards they would never put on others. If someone else makes a mistake, they forgive it instantly. But if they make the same mistake, they replay it for days. This self-judgment comes from a deep fear of being not enough, not good enough, not smart enough, not impressive enough, not worthy enough. So they hold themselves to impossible expectations. They don't want to be perfect. They just want to avoid being judged. That's why they rehearse conversations, analyze decisions, and rethink every move. Not because they want to look perfect, but because they fear looking foolish. 12th, Overthinkers struggle to trust themselves. They know they're smart, they know they're capable, but they don't trust their instinct. They second-guess their own judgment, their own choices, their own readings of situations. Even when their instinct is correct, they question it. This lack of self-trust is one of the core reasons they overthink. Their brain doesn't believe that acting now is safe, so they run mental simulations to compensate for that missing trust. Ironically, the more they overthink, the less they trust themselves. It becomes a loop. Distrust turns into overthinking, which means more distrust. 13th, they fear disappointing people they care about. Overthinkers live with a silent pressure. What if I let someone down? They worry about their words, their actions, their tone, their timing, not because they're obsessed with perfection, but because they care too much. They try to be thoughtful, careful, considerate, but their desire to avoid hurting others often turns into self-blame. They take responsibility for other people's emotions, even for people who wouldn't do the same for them. 14th, they analyze people's behavior too deeply. Most people take things at face value. Overthinkers don't. If someone texts differently, they notice. If someone seems distant, they notice. If someone says something with a different tone, they notice. But noticing is not the problem. It's the meaning they attach to it. Did I upset them? Are they losing interest? Are they hiding something? Are they tired of me? Overthinkers don't see people as unpredictable. They see them as puzzles to decode. Their sensitivity makes them perceptive, but it also makes them paranoid. 15th, they crave peace, but their mind creates turbulence. Overthinkers are not chaotic people. In fact, they crave simplicity. They want quiet, clarity, and stability, but their mind has a habit of creating storms out of silence. If there's no problem, their brain imagines one. If something is unclear, their mind fills the gaps with fear. If nothing is happening, their thoughts create scenarios. They want peace, but they've been wired to anticipate danger, and that wiring doesn't turn off without effort. 16th, they often feel misunderstood, even when people care about them. Overthinkers have trouble explaining their inner world. They don't know how to express their fears without sounding dramatic or irrational, so they stay quiet. They hold things inside, thinking, replaying, analyzing alone. And because they stay silent, people think they're fine, when they're actually overwhelmed. This gap between what they feel and what they express creates loneliness, even in relationships filled with love. They aren't misunderstood because they're complicated. They're misunderstood because they think too much and say too little. 17th, they experience emotional fatigue faster than most. Overthinking drains energy. A single conversation can feel like a full mental workout. A single decision can feel like climbing a psychological mountain. A single argument can replay in their mind for weeks. So overthinkers often appear tired, not because they're physically exhausted, but because their mind never rests. They live in constant mental motion. Every worry, every scenario, every what if adds weight. By the end of the day, their brain has run a marathon that nobody else can see. 18th, they need closure more than anything. Unanswered questions torment the mind of an overthinker. If something ends abruptly, they overanalyze for months. If someone ghosts them, they search for their own mistake. If a situation remains unclear, their mind fills in the blanks with the worst possible explanation. Closure doesn't mean winning or being right. For overthinkers, closure means peace. It's knowing the truth, so the brain can stop creating theories. Without closure, their thoughts stay in motion forever. 19th. They feel guilty for things that were never their responsibility. This guilt comes from caring too much. They apologize in their head for things they never even did. They replay old mistakes that no one else remembers. They take emotional weight that doesn't belong to them. And because they care, they feel responsible for keeping the peace. That guilt fuels more thinking, more worrying, more self-blame. It's a heavy way to live for someone who only wants things to be okay. 20th. They love deeply but carefully. Overthinkers don't love casually. When they trust fully. When they care intensely. But before they open up, they analyze everything. Will this hurt me? Will I lose them someday? Will they take advantage of me? Will I regret this later? Their overthinking affects relationships because their mind keeps trying to protect their heart. They don't want to be difficult. They just want to be safe. Behind every hesitation, there's fear. Behind every question, there's sensitivity. Behind every doubt, there's hope. 21st. Their mind isn't loud, it's layered. Overthinkers don't have one thought at a time. They have multiple layers of thoughts, running in parallel. On the outside, they look quiet, calm, even reserved. On the inside, there are conversations, memories, fears, analysis, predictions, doubts, and emotions, all talking at once. It's not chaos, it's complexity. Their mind is like an endless library, where every book is open at the same time. This is why silence feels comforting. It gives them space to hear themselves. 22nd. Overthinking is often a result of being too aware. Most people live life on autopilot. Overthinkers don't. They see patterns others ignore. They catch inconsistencies others miss. They feel moods others can't interpret. Their intelligence is emotional, analytical, and perceptive. They think deeply because they notice deeply. But when the world becomes overwhelming, that awareness turns into anxiety. Their strength becomes their struggle. 23rd. Many overthinkers grew up being the peacemaker. They were the ones who stayed quiet to avoid conflict. The ones who tried to make everyone okay. The ones who absorbed emotions in the room so others wouldn't explode. This childhood role turns into an adult habit, constantly scanning for danger, thinking ahead, preventing problems, even when it's unnecessary. Their overthinking is a survival strategy that once kept them safe, but now keeps them trapped. 24th. Overthinkers don't want control, they want stability. People assume they want to control everything. They don't. They want predictability, consistency, safety. They want to know what to expect, so they can relax. Their overthinking tries to create emotional stability. In a world that feels unpredictable, it's not about power, it's about comfort. 25th. To stop overthinking. They don't need answers, they need boundaries. Overthinkers don't need life to be perfect. They don't need people to explain everything. They don't need the world to become safer. They need mental boundaries, emotional boundaries, digital boundaries, relational boundaries, and lastly, self-boundaries. They need to train their brain to stop chasing every thought and start choosing which thoughts deserve attention. Their healing isn't about thinking less, it's about thinking cleaner. In conclusion, overthinkers aren't broken, they're exhausted. They don't need fixing, they need understanding. They're not dramatic, they're sensitive, they're not indecisive. They're overloaded, they're not weak, they're overwhelmed. Behind every overthinker is someone who cares too much, feels too much, notices too much, and fears too much. Their mind is heavy because their heart is full. And if you truly want to understand an overthinker, remember this: they don't overthink because the world is dangerous. They overthink because, at some point in life, they had to survive it.